Hey, what's up, you guys? Blind Dive Comics back at it doing another comic review. And if you can't tell by the shirt, we're doing more Alien comic reviews. Today, we're going to be doing Alien's Labyrinth by, hold on, Jim Woodring and Killian Plunkett. I hope I pronounced those names correctly. If not, I apologize. So, in Alien's Labyrinth, right? I just gotta say, this story is a little convoluted if you're not thoroughly paying attention to it. And it really kind of messes with your psyche, right? So it's all about this guy here. This naked guy right here. Oh, wait. Before I actually dive into the comics, please note, these older Alien comics are not for young viewers. So if you're younger than 13, please don't click into my things. Thank you. And also, spoiler alert, if you have not read these, but they're kind of old, so you've been warned. Anyway, let's jump back in. I'm sorry about that, guys. I almost forgot. But anyway, it's all about this guy right here. And it's, he gets this funny, he's waking up from cryo sleep, right? And he gets this funny message from his computer, and he's like, he even tells his computer, he's like, not funny, honey. Which, you guys gotta remember, these were back in the day, so. But anyway, it's all about this guy. His name is, he's a Colonel Dr. Crespi. Crespi. God, I hope I'm pronouncing this name right. But regardless, he's a doctor for the Colonial Marines. And he's on his way to this station out in the middle of nowhere, honestly. It's in space. Nowhere's everywhere in space. But anyway, he's on his way to meet up with I don't know if he's a doctor. He doesn't introduce himself as doctor, but anyway, he's on his way to meet Paul Church. I'm gonna call him Dr. Church just for sake of argument here, who has been conducting research on xenomorph mentality, maybe? Is that the right word? What? Anyway, he has this, like he has a bunch of captured xenomorphs, and you can kind of tell their age by like how they're drawn here. They're very old. They have like little blood splatters on them that, yeah, they're, which you can even tell from the cover. But anyway, it's an old, worn out alien or xenomorph, whatever you actually want to call it. But he's conducting research on it through like their intelligence, right? And he even lets it through a corridor, and in this panel here, there's an armed Marine or a hunk of food, and he's gonna determine what the alien's gonna go for. Ultimately, the alien will go for the Marine, and then Dr. Church states that the reproduction of its species is more important than basic survival needs. But after the guy with the flamethrower kind of torches the alien a little bit, the alien disregards him and goes straight for, crap, I didn't see that, but he goes straight for a pig, leaving the Marine completely alone afterwards. And then there's another test that they're doing here with two, I'm gonna keep calling them Marines. I don't think they're Marines, but two guys here. One that's kind of wimpy, one that has more like of a stern attitude. Ultimately, the alien will go for the weaker mentality of the two humans, where it's evident, not here, but here, that the guy with the stronger mentality can ward off the xenomorph and actually make the xenomorph afraid. So, like, these comics, like this comic run, which is only 4 issues, by the way, really delves into the more science-y aspects of the xenomorph mentality, which is like I said, whenever you start diving into like mentality and psyches, if you're not like paying attention, you can get really lost in these comics. I had to reread this like 2 or 3 times before I could understand, and eventually I was like, I'm just gonna keep moving forward. But yeah, and I will say this is like maybe my 4th favorite Alien run. I say 4th because, as you can see, a sneak preview of next week's episode, I like the Alien vs. Predator comics. These comics will come before this one. But like, I just like how kind of like Dark Horse didn't really care, and they went really like brutal with the gore in this. I also like the art, and like some of them, like, well, that's really cool. I'd also like to note that on the back of these comics, they advertise other comics, unlike today's comic, or I say today's comics, the more recent comics I've read, they advertise different product. I'm like, nah. But anyway, an alien got out, killed a man, and in a pretty brutal fashion, as you saw in the last issue. This is issue 2. They launch him into space, which is, they actually do that in the Alien movies as well. God, this. He was literally walking the xenomorph on a leash. That's like how carefree this guy is. I mean, yeah, he's in a harness, but he, like, Dr. Church is just like nonchalant, where everyone else is just wigging out and shit, man. It's it's kind of funny, actually, and I'm not gonna lie there. But like, the xenomorph eventually just dies either through old age or starvation, and so he dissects it. And I mean, this is a pretty cool thing, because you don't really see, like, I know in the 2004 movie Alien vs. Predator, the Predator cuts open the alien's dome, but you don't really see that in the comics as much. It's mostly just gunfire, and it just splats open. You don't really see like the precision cuts and actually the brain tissues and all that. So this like really like kind of gets into the nitty-gritty of the alien biology. And it's like Dr. Church is like always like 3 steps ahead of Dr. Crespi. I'm so hoping I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, let me know in the comments below, but I'm just gonna keep pronouncing it that way. Like he's like always 3 steps ahead of him, and it's like after a while, Dr. Church kind of starts mentally messing with everybody else, saying, "Oh no, I wasn't doing that. You were doing that. Don't you remember?" Like really, not really gaslighting them, but really just messing with like everybody's psyche, and I really enjoy it. Not like thoroughly, but you know, it's different. I like it. And here they've figured out where they're growing the xenomorphs. They've literally have like, they're not human, but human donated tissue grown in test tubes and basically used for breeding the xenomorph, which, you know, you kind of see a lot in these older comics. Oh. And then in this one, it's actually the remains of the guy that actually got killed. So, like I said, Dr. Church is like 3 steps ahead of everybody, trying to make them all think something while behind the scenes he's actually doing something else. Alright. So it's really, really fascinating. Like, if you guys get a chance, and they're all upset with Dr. Church for what he's doing, they deem it inhumane. And he's like, what? He was dead. It's not inhumane if he's dead. And he's like, you can't possibly understand what I'm doing. Look, I'm smarter than you. I just like that. You know, it's... This comic run is just so very... Like I said, I had to reread it several times. But it's like... It's a good read. If you have a chance to pick it up, I highly recommend it. Oh yeah, he's about to experiment on more people now. Yeah. If you get a chance and your local comic store has these older Dark Horse issues, this is issue 4 of Labyrinth, pick them up. Give them a good read. They're really, really good. Oh, and now Dr. Church has trapped Dr. Crespi in his labyrinth. And there's aliens in there now. And he's using them as test subjects. Which, you know, with aliens doesn't really bode over too well. And it's like, Dr. Crespi gets hit from behind, and then he's just bleeding all over the dang place. And he's like, oh, we gotta get out of here. But, dang, he just flapped an alien and got acid sprayed. But, oh, brutal. I forgot about that. So this girl that he's with puts him out of his misery. I'm like, that is brutal. And now she's like gonna kill Dr. Church for what he made her do. And it's like, and she very, very brutally starts like pushing his face into like the railing and all that. He gets thrown in with the alien, you know, and you think it's gonna be like, oh man, he's finally gonna get what he deserves. Well, that doesn't happen actually. And here's messed up part, right? So, you know, he's recovering and all that, right? And He's in a wheelchair. Like a movable wheelchair, I guess. Look, yeah, it's a wheelchair. And turns out he is experimenting on the guy that just died, Colonel Crespi. And he's like, you know, oh, I just hope you know, this ain't personal. It's just science. But anyway, that's it for Aliens Labyrinth. Sorry if I was just all over the place. I kind of had to be for this comic review. But yeah, that'll do it for this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.